So, last video of our French Tech 3 tier list series with today rank 5. This rank is a good stopping point, much like any other nation. Lots of good vehicles to talk about today, and for the most part they are almost all unique French vehicles, which is always nice to see. So let's get started. Starting with light tanks, we have the AML 90. This armored car can be found in other nations' tech tree like Israel or the UK, and for me it's a C tier vehicle. Usually cars are rated pretty high, but this one didn't convince me when I played it. It has a great speed and is very small, which allows for some very sneaky plays. The gun shoots HIT-FS shells with a respectable amount of penetration. However, a few things lower its effectiveness. First of all, the long reload of 8.7 seconds, which is pretty substantial for a light tank. You have 3 crew members, but this car is so small and cramped that you usually lose more than one when being shot at, and it leads to an immediate death. Last but not least, the engine sound. Depending on the update, it tends to vary, but at the moment, I think the engine sound for small cars like this one or the Fox is extremely noisy, both for you and for the enemy to hear. In my experience, this vehicle tends to be bullied more than it can bully. Next up we have the AMX 1390. This is the third AMX 13 in this stage tree, so you should start being familiar with it. The difference this time is the cannon, which is pretty much the same as the AML 90, a 90mm shooting HIT-FS. This time though, you have the autoloader coming into play, which drastically reduces your reload time. You may not be as fast as the AML, but overall I think this vehicle is superior to it, which is why I put it in B. Last light tank in this line is the DF105, which we already covered in the German tech tree, so it will sit at the same tier, which is A. Good light tank shooting heat at a very fast pace. Just be careful when engaging Soviet vehicles, for their fuel tank tends to eat your shell. Other than that, a great light tank with good potential. Let's talk medium tanks now. The first one is the Lorraine 40T, a 40 tons medium tank with great mobility. This medium can keep up with light tanks on a flanking maneuver or reach an advantageous position very early in the game. The firepower it carries is also no joke. The 100mm gun fires a powerful AP shell capable of penetrating even the most armored heavy tanks at this BR. It's a B tier medium, which shines in flanks or brawls due to its superior mobility. Very similar to the AMX M4 in how it plays basically. You also have a pike nose armor, but don't count on it too much to save your skin. Your armor is pretty much not effective, so try not to get shot. Our next vehicle is a folded vehicle and a light tank. Not sure why it's in this line, but the SHA-25T is our next customer. I can't recall just how many times this tank was nerfed, and now it sits at 8.0. As expected of a light tank, good mobility, fairly low to the ground, which is good for stealth, 4 crew members and a 4-second reload. The one aspect which may surprise you with this tank is that the best shell it fires is an APHE shell. Basically it's the one fired by the American 90mm gun, but with boosted stats this time. Now, does it justify the 8.0 BR? Light tanks are always a menace in this game, no matter what. But now that France has access to the DF105 at the same BR, and since the SHA-25T is optional for research, I'd say you can skip it if you want. It's a good light tank and APHE is always a win, but if your objective is to reach tier 6 faster, then yeah, this one can be skipped. The last medium tank, of this line at least, is the AMX 131972. This one is a bit unique. It is a very fast medium tank. You'll feel the Cold War mobility very easily when playing it, both forward and in reverse, and it fires heat shells, similar to the ones fired by the DF105. You trade a shorter reload for a rangefinder this time. Heat shells usually have low velocity, and your rangefinder lets you aim with great precision for long-range shots. As I mentioned, a very long reload compared to the DF105, so you might want to use this tank as a sniper. One thing to note is that it has a 20mm autocannon mounted on top, which can help you in dire situations. The autocannon can damage tracks, cannons, or even kill light armored vehicles. I'll put it in C. We enter now the heavy tank line, and our first tank is a medium one. Yes, the French tech tree is all over the place. The AMX-50 TOA 100 is very similar to the Lorraine 40T, and will sit at the same tier, which is B. Same turret and gun, but the main difference this time is that you trade increased mobility for slightly more armor. I won't say that you'll see a massive difference in survivability, but still. Overall, both are very similar, so no need to waste too much time on this one. The next tank, however, is an actual heavy tank. Unfortunately, it can't really tank shots. The AMX-50 Surbessé is, in my opinion, more of a tank destroyer with a turret than an actual heavy tank. The main strength of this heavy is the cannon. It's a 120mm gun, firing a shell with up to 301mm of pen. At 7.7, it feels a bit overkill, especially in a down tier. Not much can resist you when you shoot with the Surbessé. On top of that, you have a very fast reload as well. Be cautious, however, as your armor is not that effective, your reverse speed is quite bad, and your turret is quite big and spottable from very far away. This tank also has a rangefinder, so in general try to create some distance with your opponents. A good vehicle, but it may require a bit of practice before you can fully master it, so C tier mostly for that reason. Last but not least, tank destroyers. The first one is the AMX-50 Foch. I'll put it straight in A tier. This TD has incredibly powerful frontal armor and has the same gun as the Surbessé, but at 7.3. You will bounce a lot of shots as long as you face your target frontally. Do not try to angle too much because your side armor is pretty bad. If you've played German tank destroyers like the Jagdpanzer, then the Foch will be very familiar to you. Your overall speed is also pretty good, letting you reach sniping position very early or letting you retreat when you are in danger. On top of that, you have a rangefinder for accurate long-range shots and a 20mm autocannon to defend yourself against planes or light vehicles. However, those last two elements are also weak spots of the Foch. One hit of APHE or high caliber HE in the rangefinder or the 20mm turret and you might be done for. To put it simply, this tank is like the Cielo Rain, but with actual armor. The last tank destroyer is an optional one, and one that you should probably skip if you value your sanity. The AMX-10M is the most niche vehicle of this rank, and it's also pretty bad in my opinion. This box-looking tank is an HEGM launcher. For 7.3, the HEGM fired is indeed quite powerful. Nothing will resist 700mm of armor penetration. The problem of this tank is that it requires a lot of open space to work properly. Any urban map will substantially reduce your effectiveness. Your speed is surprisingly high, but this tank has pretty bad suspensions, so if you need to make an emergency stop to shoot, it may take some time for the gun to stabilize itself. Finally, your armor is paper thin. Don't expect to survive when being shot at. Try the AMX-10M only when you have a wide open map, other than that you can completely ignore it. You can consider tearing it if you want, or if you're a masochist. It's your choice. D tier. And that's it for the French rank 5. So, overall thoughts on the tech tree. It's a very demanding nation. Not very easy to play at first, but if you manage to understand AP and the autoloader mechanic, then you can become a menace, especially at ranks 4 and 5. The key is to get through the rough early start of the tech tree as fast as you can in order to reach the good stuff. Once again, I hope this list was useful to you. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this ranking, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.